It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shorman and this is the Forum on Eagle Television. It's good to have you watching along today. Our program is brought to you by Hayes Med. Our guest today is Jennifer Hecker, and Jennifer is the Executive Director of Options.
Yes.
Now, there's some people sitting out there that they probably going, what is Options? Because everybody wants options, but this is a specific cause, and it's a great cause that we're going to be recognizing in the month of October. So what exactly is Options?
Options is a domestic and sexual violence services organization. We're a nonprofit company, and we work to bring awareness to about domestic violence and sexual assault to the community that we serve. And most importantly, we provide services to survivors and victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, teen dating violence, and sex trafficking.
You know, what I noticed when I was doing some of the research on what you do is that you do a lot of stuff.
We do.
I mean, it covers such a wide range, everything down to a helpline that you have available. So how do you make all of that happen? I mean, what kind of team do you have back there that makes all this
We have an
work?
amazing team. We call them Team Unicorn, hashtag Team Unicorn. Our advocates are amazing. They're very well trained, very passionate about the work that we do. We really want to make sure that people that are coming into this field are coming because they're passionate about it and they want to help people. Some of them are survivors themselves, and so it's very personally healing for them. It's empowering for them, and is a way for them to say, I came through it, and so can you.
Well, that's really big because, you know, so many times when people are in that situation, they don't know how to get out. And if they understand somebody that has done this, has made it through, that's one of the things I know you run into, that there are people involved in those relationships and they either can't or don't want to get out. Why is that?
It's probably the most common question we're asked is why don't people leave when they're in a relationship where domestic violence is happening?
It seems like just the thing you would do.
Yeah, just leave, right? It seems that simple.
Move on down the road.
Right. It's actually over 70% of women who leave their relationship where domestic violence is going on, over 70% of them that are killed by their abuser are killed within the first 2 weeks of leaving. It is the most dangerous time for a survivor, and yet we, as ordinary citizens, we don't know that. And so our knee-jerk reaction is to say, well, just leave, get out. But it's actually the most dangerous time for them.
So to some extent, they're actually fearing for their life if they leave.
Yes.
They feel safer staying in a bad environment because they at least have some control versus leaving and having that.
That's exactly
an amazing
right.
statistic.
Yeah, and one that most people don't know. You know, and in a small town, people don't think it's going to happen. In our town, we're safe. We have, you know, we're not a big town. It's not like Chicago or Dallas or, you know, Kansas City, some large place like that. So it can't be happening here because I know all my neighbors. And my neighbors are nice and they would never do anything like that. And I think that's what makes it so difficult for people to come to grips with in a small town. Because if they recognize that domestic violence is happening in their community, that means recognizing that maybe they know someone who is an abuser, who's put on their public face. They seem happy-go-lucky, they seem like a completely fine person. They just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And so victims are not believed, and it's one of the reasons why they don't leave, because no one will believe them.
Well, I hope, if nothing else, somebody's watching this program, there are some tools that help you get out of those relationships, get out of those situations. And you mentioned stalking. That's one of the things that's grown amazingly fast over the last couple of years.
It has. We have increased our stalking services over 260% in the last year.
So what do you do in those cases?
With stalking?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing we do is safety plan. That's the first thing we do with any survivor that we work with, is to safety plan, because safety is number one.
No matter what.
No matter what the service is, whether it's domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking, safety plan is number one. We want to make sure that they are safe, that they have a plan for what happens if I see my stalker, what happens if I show up and there's this creepy package on my doorstep, or what happens if I'm driving my car and I see that they're following ongoing means. So we will help them create an individual safety plan that will actually work for them. It is all survivor driven, our services. And so we talk with them about what their daily life is like, what is your routine like, and then we start talking about their options and what will work for them. Do they have children? Where do they work? What kind of car do they drive? Those kinds of things. What resources do they have
Well, you
available?
mentioned children, because children are a big part of this as well, and sometimes it's protecting the children that's as much important as the spouse or the person that's involved.
Absolutely. We have 2 family advocates that are specially trained to work with children as part of our Building Strong Families program. And so they work with the non-abusive parent to help that parent to regain their parenting voice. Abusers often subvert that and say things to the children like, your mom is stupid, or your dad is dumb and he doesn't know what he's doing, or she doesn't know what she's doing. And so children begin to become part of that cycle of abuse, or they witness the abuse. And that creates fear and trauma, and when children's brains are developing and they experience trauma, that actually does impact the development of their brain. And so getting services to children who see domestic violence is critically important.
Can children call options?
Yes, we do. We provide services to children as well, to anyone of all ages. You can be a man, a woman, transgender. We serve everyone.
Well, that's interesting, because many people, you look at domestic violence and you say, okay, there's a woman that's going to be the one that's abused and she's going to call the hotline.
Right.
It's broader than that.
It's much broader than that. Domestic violence in particular knows no bounds. There is no social status, no economic status, no education level that is safe from experiencing domestic violence.
I can't say you've probably seen it all. You became executive director first of the year, and you've been that, but you've been involved before that. But what brought you to the Options program?
Passion. I have a passion for the work. Domestic violence and sexual assault has touched our own lives with people that I know, family members, and I've always had a passion for that work. And I started as a volunteer, and it just grew from there.
And now you get to be in charge of things like the big month coming up,
Yes.
which is Domestic Violence
Awareness Month, yes. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Well, if you stay tuned out there, we'll come back and talk about some of the cool things that are going on in the month of October. Our guest, Jennifer Hecker, she is the Executive Director of Options here in Hayes. Back after this.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Are you frustrated with Wi-Fi dead zones in your home? It happens when you don't have Boost, the cutting-edge Wi-Fi solution from Eagle Communications. A Boost-certified Eagle technician maps your home, then installs a dual-band modem and router, plus discrete access points to deliver wall-to-wall Wi-Fi with no dead zones. Boost powers all your family's devices in all the places you love to live. Get Boost. Wi-Fi made simple. Only from Eagle Communications. Call today.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program here on Eagle Communications. Good to have you watching, and good to have you sending me notes, because we get great guests like Jennifer on our program here because of notes from you. Send them to me at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also go online. If you're on Facebook, you can find us under ECTV Forum. Again, our guest, Jennifer Hecker, is the Executive Director of Options. Option is based in Hayes, but how big of area do you cover?
We cover a 17,000 square mile area. So if you
Like from here to Colorado kind of thing.
Yes, so from Russell County all the way up to Nebraska, all the way over to Cheyenne County, down to Wallace County, and back over. So 18 counties in northwest Kansas.
You don't do that all yourself. You said you have a group of people, a great team.
We do. We have 16 people on staff.
And where are they?
We're all located in Hayes right now. We are looking to expand and reopen our Colby office, which we had to close last year. We had some funding issues and some other challenges as, you know, being a nonprofit. And, but We are working to get another office open there very quickly, but right now our staff will travel anywhere within our service delivery area to meet someone who is in need of services, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, let's talk about funding, because how is funding set up? Because if you call in, there's no charge to somebody that has a problem with domestic violence or sexual assault.
All of our services are free.
They're all free. So how do you pay for the services and people to drive all over these 18 counties?
We have very generous donors who really support our work, and we also write a variety of grants, state and federal and local grants.
And has that been some of the challenges? I know in the state of Kansas, some of the grant writing is, some of the grants available are a lot less than they have been in the past. So that's an ongoing challenge. I know you'll be talking about that in the month of October, because coming up in October, that's a big month for you guys.
Yes.
What's happening?
What isn't happening? We are doing a 31 Days of Social Media campaign on our Facebook page. You can go to Options Hayes and find our Facebook page. We are also doing our second annual Purple Light Nights campaign. And Purple Light Nights was designed to bring hope and awareness to domestic violence. And so during the campaign, if you purchase a purple light bulb and hang it on your in front of your business and on your front porch or in your dorm room window, it will show your support for survivors who have survived domestic violence, to bring hope for people that are still living in abusive relationships, and to remember the victims that lost their lives to domestic violence.
That's the sad part of it, and being able to have something that stands out. You were saying a purple light bulb. Most people don't have those. You said you can find them, though,
you can
at
find
Options.
them.
How do you get your purple light bulb if you want to support this program?
Oh, that's a great question. So you can come into the Options office between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday, and pick one up. You can go to Breathe Coffee House, downtown Hayes. You can go to Fantasy Graphics. You can also purchase a purple light bulb at Hayes Academy of Hair Design. And every weekend between now and the end of the month, we will be selling them at Big Creek Crossing in the mall.
So you can just put that as a big light bulb, little light bulb?
Yeah, just a regular, normal size
Put it in
purple
anywhere.
light bulb. You can put it right in anywhere a purple light,
How cool is that?
anywhere a light bulb would fit.
What else is going on?
We also are doing
Other
a
than
tree
great programs like
Yeah.
this, of course. Yeah.
We are also doing a tree lighting and Purple Light Nights campaign kickoff on October 5th at Massey Park here in Hayes. Massey Park is on Allen Street, and we're going from 7 to 9 p.m. The press is going to be providing free chili and cinnamon rolls for the first 75 people. Breathe, so get there early. Breathe Coffee
Or
Shop.
bring your own chili. if you
or
want.
bring your own. And then, I lost my train of thought now.
Well, that's going to be down at
Yes,
the park.
at Massey Park. We
yeah.
are going to have face painting. We're going to have food, drinks. We're going. Breathe Coffee House is providing free coffee. We're going to have all kinds of games and activities. We're going to have live music, and we're also going to have some speakers. The mayor and our chief of police are going to come out and talk about domestic violence.
One of the things, and I know the reason they're out there is because they see this happen. You see this happen. Most of us kind of go through our lives and say, we don't see this. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, the numbers you shared with me about the increase in domestic violence, the increase in sexual assault, those sort of services, you see that more and more.
We do, and some, we've had a 151% increase in requests for services for domestic violence, almost 200% increase in sexual assault services. We've had a 43% increase just in requests for shelter, and we weren't able to meet about 39 or 40 of those requests.
Let's talk about what does that mean? If somebody needs shelter, do they call on a Saturday night and say, we're in trouble, we need you to come pick us up,
And
get us
we
out
will do
of
it.
here?
Yeah, you can be in Cheyenne County 3.5 hours away, and we will send our on-call advocate. We have someone on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we will come and get you.
Now, will the police go with you, or do you have safety to go along with you in those situations?
It depends on what the survivor wants. Because all of our services are voluntary and they're confidential, we do not report anything that a survivor tells us. So if a survivor decides they do not want to contact the police, we respect that decision and we will still provide services. Safety and survivor options are our number one priority.
I want to go back and visit. I mentioned, a lot of us don't see that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you talk about what you look for in people that are abused? Because it has effect on them in the workplace, it has effect on them in their daily lives. What do you look for when somebody's being sexually abused or sexual assault to help them say, hey, here's a place you could call, go call Options? How do they find out about it?
Friends and family. So anyone watching this show, if you have a friend or a loved one who you think might be experiencing domestic violence, have them call our toll-free number. It's 1-800-794-4624, and it's a 24-hour helpline they can call. A mother could call and say, I think this might be happening to my daughter, or I think this might be happening to my son. What do I say? What do I do? We will talk them through, and I think that's something most people don't know about our services. They think that we only work with the survivor. And in fact, we will work with friends or family who might be helping that person go through the experience and get connected with help and support. So we help them as well.
Well, you had at the start of the program a number of people that don't get out of their situation, so it may be a family member that brings that in, and Brandon's going to post that number up here on the screen so you can see that if you do that. You can also go online. Great place to do it. You mentioned a Facebook site.
Yes, we do have a Facebook page. We also have a website, www.helpforabuse.org.
That makes sense. Help for Abuse with the number 4, right?
Yes, the number 4.
Helpforabuse.org, and you can go on Facebook, and the Facebook page was Facebook?
You can go, it's Options Hayes.
Options Hayes. So go there and you can look that up and learn about what tools are out there to assist and do that. I want to wish you the best of luck as you go into what is a big month, because it does give you a chance to recognize those things, do programs like this, be able to do other things across the community to let people know, because if they don't know, it doesn't do them any good.
Right.
So, and you can't help them. So over the course of time, and you look at 18 counties, how many people are involved in your help, and how many people do you help?
Oh boy, last year we provided almost 4,000 services for domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking alone.
Wow, great way to end that program. There's a need out there. I hope you can help along the line. If not, take down that website, take down the phone number, and help somebody you know that could be in a bad situation.
Absolutely. We want to bring help and hope and healing. That is what we are about.
Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jennifer Hector has been our guest here on the Forum program. She is the Executive Director of Options here in Hayes. Thanks for watching. The Forum is brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communications, our community connected.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.